Hi, this is Mr. B, and I'm going to walk you through the STEM project that we're doing on bicycles and gear ratios. So this is the Google Sheet that we see our project in. I'm going to walk you through this example here that we went over in class. Before we do this, you should have done two things. One is to complete the gear ratio or the gear STEM project in ELA, where she had to do some reading and answering some questions. And then also this is a link right here to a video just that will give you some good background to kind of get your mind in the idea of what we're doing right here, get you caught up. You'll notice at the bottom of the page down here we have two tabs. One is for practice and one says project. The project is what you will do in class. So when you're finished with this and you do the practice, then you can click on that and begin your project. I will make a few notes about that as well. But the practice is what we have gone over in class and what I'm going to go over with you right now in case you missed that. This is our problem right here. Problem gives us an example of a bicycle that has two front gears, one with 30 teeth and the other one with 24. So those two, I have a diagram here so you can kind of visualize that. Two gears are attached right through the center, right through the axle, and they move together. And then in the rear of the tire, the rear gears here are attached to the rear wheel. And there are 5 of those, and these are the number of teeth that it has. Just to give you a visual of these gears and how they move, I have a gear generator website, and there's a link that you can go to and look at this as well. And so in this, you can see that there's 2 gears in the front right here. They're attached through the axle. There are 5 gears in the back. Now obviously this is not how the gears of a bicycle are attached. They're not touching each other and moving in opposite directions. They are separated from each other and attached with a chain, so they both move in the same direction. But this gear generator is limited. It doesn't have a chain on it for me to show you that. So I've just attached them right here just so you can see how they move and how they interact together with different ratios. So let's go back to our example. The first question that I want to ask is how many different gear combinations are possible? Now when the 2 gears attach, they create a ratio, and we can see that ratio with the number of teeth. How many different ratios are possible when you attach these? So if we were to examine our little setup right here, I'm going to stop these guys. The large gear here that we're pedaling can attach to all 5 of these when we shift the back gears. So that means this large gear, we can shift our gears. Right now it is attached to this gear here, but we can shift and attach it to that gear and to that gear. All 5 of these gears can attach to this larger 30, not that one, this larger, let me highlight it, this larger 30-tooth gear right there. Then we can shift gears in the front and shift to this gear. And this gear from the chain or through the chain can be attached to the larger gear in the back, and it can move through all 5 of these gears. So each of the 2 gears in the front can attach to all 5 of the gears in the back. So how many different combinations is that? Yeah, it's pretty easy to see that there are 10 combinations. And on this table right here, we're going to fill this out together and look at the different ratios. So because there are 10 combinations, we have 10 rows. And I have filled out the first column for you, which is simply filling out the number of teeth in the front gear. Since there are 5 different gears in the back, there are 5 combinations possible that the front gear attaches to. And then this is the other gear, the larger gear in the front with 30. So let's go ahead and put our numbers in for the rear gear. Got all 5 gears in the back, and they're in line with the 24 gear front. Let's do the same thing for these. I think what I'm going to do is copy and paste. Copy, paste. Look at that. How fast is that? So here are all the combinations possible. Let's write our ratio. And this, before I get to gear ratio, we're just going to write the numbers without simplifying. Those are our ratios of the front to rear teeth. Now the gear ratio is this ratio right here, just simplified. So take a moment and simplify each of these ratios, and we're going to write those down. Here are all of our gear ratios in the order in which they are presented right here, but they're not necessarily in order from the fastest gear to the slowest gear. So our next object is to rank the speeds of these gear ratios. So you can explore these with our gear generator. There's going to be a link for you to go to the gear generator and just see how fast does the pedal move these. I have a separate video on how to use the gear generator, so I don't want to go into that right here. But you can explore that on your own. You also can look at the ratios. So let's examine these ratios when they're written in this form here. It looks like a fraction, and they work like fractions too. So we can see the gear ratio 1 to 1 can be written like this and is equal to, let me write an equal sign here, 1 over 1 equal, what number is that? Well, that's 1, right? So we can write these kind of in a way we're more familiar with, like mixed numbers and whole numbers. 2 over 1, well, that's going to be the same as 2. So that ratio equals 2. 2 is greater than 1. So this ratio is faster. That wheel is going to move faster, twice as fast as this ratio. So we can see down here, this gear ratio right here, when they're connected, that wheel moves twice as fast as when these are connected here. So we can go through here and do all of these in the same way. 6/5 from your knowledge of fractions, we know that's 1 1/5. So this kind of helps us to get a sense of the size of the numbers. 3 to 2, do that here, equals, I want to make it look good here, equals 1 1/2. So we can write them, there we go, like this. And we can compare them. So 1 1/2 is a greater number than 1 1/5. So 3 to 2 is faster than 6 to 5. So you can go through each of these, change them into mixed numbers to rank them. Which is the fastest? Which has the highest number, the greatest number? That's the fastest one. Which is the lowest number? And that's the lowest one. So you can go through and rank these. I believe this is going to be the slowest one right here. There will also be some that have the same number, like 3 to 2, 3 to 2, and then we can just have the same ranking for those. We go back to our thing here. If you see some with the same gear ratio, we're going to highlight these. So 3 to 2 in our example here has the same ratio. Here's how we can highlight them. We can just select this row like this, and then, no, come on over here. Select the row just like that. You'll see it kind of shaded in blue, and select the paint can right here. And this will fill it with any color you want. Make sure you fill it with a light color. Okay, not very dark. I'll just pick yellow right here. But you can pick another color. And also we're going to highlight this one. Same thing here to show everybody that these are the same. When we rank our speeds, they're going to have the same exact number. As you go down here, this is there are some links down here to the gear generator, and you can examine how fast they move right here. This link right here will show you, you click on that, has some gears that are preset and pre-made, and you can kind of play around with these gears right here. This other link right here takes you to, go right there, takes you to a gear. This is the front gear right here with 30 teeth, and I've attached them separately to all 5 of these rear gears. So you can see just by hitting start, you can see how one gear here, this is us pedaling, will affect all the different gears in the back. And you can kind of tell which one's going faster, which one's going slower, and you can kind of rank them. If you look in the center, I kind of do this. I look in the center and look at the plus sign going around. You can tell pretty easily then like which of the rear tire wheels, these are the rear gears, which ones are moving faster than the others, and you can kind of check your ranking to see how well you did there. You can also come in here and explore and change the speed and so forth. When you are ready for your project, click down here at the project tab, and your project is very similar. It gives you an example of a bike with 2 front gears here, and there are 6 back gears, and these are the number of teeth. So it gives you all the information you need. It's got a diagram right here for you to visualize it. And the first question is, how many different gear ratios are possible? And so in this spot right here, and you can also use all this space over here as well, I want you to explain how many different gears there are and how do you know that. I want you to explain it for me and include diagrams. Like you can draw some diagrams to help me understand how the different gears connect together, or at least how the numbers are connected. You might want to draw a diagram that involves just circles and lines. So to do that, you can, by the way, you would want to write text. I mean, explain in text. So type something in, but to include a diagram or drawing, you don't have to be in here in the box. You could be anywhere. You want to insert, click insert, and then drawing, and that allows you to draw some things. So this will pop up, and this is just a mat for drawing, like a blank page for drawing. It allows you to draw lines. You can include shapes, all sorts of different shapes. You can put text and make a text box. You can also import images and other objects. So if you wanted to draw circles, like if you wanted to draw a diagram that said, okay, I've got a couple of gears. That's going to represent one gear. It doesn't have to look like a gear, but it could represent a gear. It doesn't even have to be a circle, but a diagram simply represents something else. And you can shade it however you want to shade it, or put a different color to it. It doesn't matter. And you can say, well, here's a front gear, and I just want to show how it's connected to. It doesn't have to look like a bicycle. It doesn't have to be connected like a bicycle with a chain. It just is a diagram that shows this gear and this gear, and you might want to draw a line. So I click the line, and there's different types of lines with arrows and connectors, but basically that's a straight line right there. I click that, I can draw lines like this. And maybe I want another circle like this. I can select that circle, and instead of creating a new circle, I can hold the control button down and then click on it and move it over, and it will create a new one. So I can control and then click on it and then let go of the control, and well, if I let go in the wrong order, it's control, let go of the click, and then let go of control here, and it'll automatically make those. If I wanted another top gear, I can do that. And so you might want to draw a diagram that says I am connecting one gear to these 3, and then another gear can be connected to the same 3. It connects to that one, and that connects to that one. That connects to... So you can draw a diagram that looks like this using shapes. You can also put text box. So you can click on the text box, you can draw out a little rectangle, and inside that rectangle, front gear. And look at that. You can put words however you want them, and you can change font, change size. You have to select the words here. See impact. You can make them larger. And bold print, you can just kind of mess around with that. But those are some basics on how to draw a diagram, and then you can save it. When you hit save and close, it will insert it right there. So here's our diagram. One click and you can change the size of it. Make it a little bit smaller. See, I've got the hand cursor, and when I click, it kind of turns into a little fist. It grabbed it, and I can move it around, and I could put it here so that I can type here, and then I can have diagrams here. Okay, I think that's about it. And then you'll have your table just like we did here, and some questions here, pretty much the same things. The last thing down here is going further. Go one more step right there. You can get a 100. You can't get a 100 on this without doing this. Now, if you were to do all of this and you did not do going further, you could still get an A. You can get a 93. That's the top score without going further. Okay, this is for students. If you want to go one more step, really have fun with this. It is a creative thing. There's really no guidelines much for you. It's just create a tool using this gear generator. Create a set of gears using at least 5 gears, and then think of a machinery. It could be a real machine like a vacuum cleaner or a blender or something that uses your gears, or make up a machine or make up an imaginary device that you could use these gears for, and just kind of type in an explanation and show me a picture of your gears. You can copy paste if you want to do that. I've got a snip tool right here that I use a lot, and I have done that. Of course, you've seen those examples. You can copy paste just like this, or you can even put a link. So in your gear generator right up here at the top, that is a special code right there that has copied your exact gears and everything and all the specifications. You can copy that and then just insert it right here. Just paste it into a cell and it will copy. That's how I did all of these other ones that you had, well, on the other page. And that way I can tap on it and we can all look at it, and they'll work and everything. All right, that is our project. If you have any questions, then let me know.